I live on an island where the seagulls cry and the beach is 10 minutes away, where anyone can visit it any day. I live on an island where cars are shabby and you can hear the waves at night. I live on an island where everyone is friends and lobster boats and lobster traps are everywhere. I live on an island where we take the boat to school and the mailboats boast a history of never being on time, always late, making you wait. I live on an island where news isn't secret for long, and you can always find shells or sea glass to take home. I live on an island, and I love my island, so join me on my island and live on an island with me.
The Sunbeam has been a welcome sight on Maine waters for more than a century. A welcome sight, really, for the Sunbeam captain and crew, and for their work and service, often in partnership with mainland colleagues among Maine's unbridged island communities.
We don't go to the islands with any predetermined agenda. We're not trying to solve a particular problem. We're going to offer friendship and warmth and help build the community, make the community a little bit stronger. And I think that's highly effective. We have a lot of great friends out there, and I feel of all the islands we go to that I have 4 or 5 different hometowns. I have the hometown where I live in Somesville. I have a hometown on Frenchboro, on Idaho, on Matinicus. We know the people, we know the good things, we know the problems, but it's just a richness that just keeps me engaged, and I think it keeps the whole crew engaged. And that's the part about the job that really keeps me going. My immediate crew on the boat consists of Story King, who's the engineer. It's kind of a hybrid engineer, first mate job. And then Jillian, who has no last name. Jillian is the steward on the boat. So Story's responsible for maintaining the mechanical equipment on the Sunbeam, and he also stands watch. But he's a licensed captain, so if I'm on vacation, Story can run the boat in my absence, and I have complete faith in him. He's a talented seaman. And Jillian, she's just been a wonderful addition to the crew. She's relatively new on the boat, and she's been a wonderful addition. Her food and sense of hospitality is so welcoming, and people love having her in the galley. And she's been great.
The all-island breakfast, my word, Jillian is amazing, and she puts on a spread like you wouldn't believe. Whether it be the breakfast or if you go down for a meal, and every time you go down and there's always, hey, have some lunch, or what can we get you?
She makes the best pizzas of anybody in the state of Maine, I think, so.
Sharon is both a tremendous old-fashioned nurse and capable of using the latest technological equipment, which benefits her out on the islands greatly. She gets right off the boat in inhospitable weather, knocks on doors, visits with people, refills prescriptions from their phone in their house, helps them with Medicare and Medicaid applications.
I and all the rest of the crew have a very personal relationship with people on the islands, not just the individuals, but the communities. And that relationship really goes back over 100 years. So just having worked for the Seacoast Mission makes it easy for us to have that relationship with people, because there's so much history of that with the mission and the islands, which are very special communities.
The Sunbeam and the crew are really so important to us here on the island, or any of the islands. We look forward to them coming here, and when we go aboard the Sunbeam, it's, we're getting together with the family, because we build this relationship with everybody, every part of the crew, and it's hard to put into words what they mean to us.
Anybody that lives on an island knows that things are tougher than they are living on the mainland, no matter what you do. You see these guys show up, and Sharon's well qualified she's tied up with Dr. Scott, you know, so that we have him as a primary doctor. He's a great guy. We get great service, you know, we get our blood work done on the boat, and, you know, she checks our blood pressure every time we comes in, every time they come in, so she's got me doing better than what I was.
Douglas is the newest member of the crew. He's the boat's chaplain, and he brings a lot to the table on the boat. In addition to being the boat's chaplain, he has a counseling background, and he's a dance movement therapist, which I didn't really know a lot about when he first started, but he teaches dance to the students at the different schools on the island. They love him, and he teaches dance and yoga classes to a lot of the adult people, and that's been very well received.
I'm so full of appreciation and gratitude to the islanders for the care and the love and the trust that they offer to Sharon and me and the rest of the crew and the boat itself. They're so excited and happy when we pull into their harbor, and it just fills me with, you know, all kinds of warm, fuzzy feelings when I see them waiting for us on the dock, and they come aboard the boat and they feel so comfortable, and they welcome us into their homes and their families. It's a real special feeling.
Each year, medical pros in and out of state work with the Mission Island Health and Outreach Directors. No medical pro better represents that collaboration than MDI Hospital's Behavioral Health Center's Director, Dr. Diehl Snyder, and his team.
In July of 2019, that will complete 16 years of our Behavioral Health Center being a part of and working with the Maine Seacoast Mission. What really makes this program work, this connection of the islands with our Behavioral Health Center, is Sharon Daly, the nurse who has been serving on the Sunbeam for so many years. On our end, it also takes more than just one person. So Sharon will make the call to our reception staff. We have therapists here who have seen patients for an hour at a time when they need to sort of talk through in counseling some of the problems that they're having.
I work alongside Dr. Diehl Snyder in my role as psychiatrist. One of the things that I most enjoy about the work here is being part of the community and treating all sorts of various people who have different walks of life and different types of professions, but who are all affected by mental health disorders and substance use disorders.
My role at the Seacoast Mission began about 5 years ago when I was the executive director of the Acadia Family Center in Southwest Harbor. We had done a lot of work with the outer islands, and the mission was critical in helping us coordinate those services. Sharon Daly, Douglas Kornman, and Dr. Snyder from the Behavioral Health Center were all integral part of that process in providing those services for those folks who really had limited access to services. So it was a vital resource for them.
How vital a resource? Listen to a story of how the Sunbeam Mainland teamwork helped one island resident resolve a volatile situation.
I escaped a violent, abusive relationship that left me broken, lost, and isolated. The Sunbeam provided a safe haven for me and a place of hope and support, a place where the crew took a vested interest in me as an individual and offered genuine love and caring. Every time I stepped aboard, I was welcomed with open arms and heartfelt smiles. They all took me under their wings, taking the time to ask how I was doing without passing judgment. I was encouraged and welcomed to participate in community activities and forged friendships in doing so. I was able to rediscover my self-worth and confidence. Sharon was especially instrumental in her diligence of setting me up with counselors and doctors that I so needed to begin my healing process. Most of all, Sharon, Douglas, and the other crew members continued to reach out, check in, and embrace me with such compassion outside of the routine visits. This group of people has been influential in helping me on the right path that I had strayed so far from. They are a unique and selfless group of people who truly make a difference in the lives of all they touch. I thank them and the Sunbeam for being there for me. gratefully.
The Sunbeam mainland teamwork also helps find resolution or relief for island community-wide situations.
Just such a wonderful feeling when you go on. Everybody embraces you. They take you for who you are. There's no judgment. On an island with so few people, you know, it's just so nice to have somebody that cares about you on the Sunbeam, that if you have issues that you can talk to. And it just means so much to us.
We had a terrible tragedy and everyone was heartbroken. And we just didn't know how to deal with it. Sharon Diehl helped us by having Dr. Snyder come, except he didn't get to come all the way because the wind was so bad that we had to cancel that. But we went on with our potluck dinner as a community, and they joined us via telemed machine. So they sat there, they watched us eat, and then he answered questions. And everybody came away feeling less heartbroken.
There was another incident a few years ago that deeply disturbed the community. People deal with their emotional problems in different ways, and we were all trying to deal with this individually. And Dr. Snyder came to the island and met with us as a collective group. And he talked and he gave us some of the mechanisms that we needed to deal with what the problem was at the time. And it was very helpful to have him come. It was it was a good experience. I think made the community a stronger place. And we would like to thank Dr. Snyder and MDI Behavioral for making the effort to come out here.
Since 1912, 4 Sunbeams have come and gone. This year, after 25 years in service, it was time for the Sunbeam 5's routine major refit, keeping the boat a welcome presence on Maine waters for another 25 years.
The Sunbeam has reached an age where it needs a very thorough inspection and quite a bit of renovation. Our decision at the board level at the Maine Seacoast Mission was to decide what would be the best plan for the future, and we decided that we'll refurbish the Sunbeam. That was pretty much a unanimous vote. And then we started a process of fundraising. We were very fortunate to have Bryan Colket on our team. He represents and speaks for a lot of people in Northeast Harbor who have supported the Sunbeam for years, and he's a very knowledgeable, capable guy, and he was instrumental in our efforts to produce a yard and contracts for the work.
It was an honor to chair the Sunbeam Committee. The Sunbeam does so much great work for all the island residents and provides so much support and care, medical and emotional, to all the island residents. It's really critical. The Sunbeam Committee as a whole, everyone works so hard, and I'm really appreciative of everyone's hard work and how much effort they put into raising the money to keep the Sunbeam going for many more years and serving the island residents that need it and depend on it so much year-round.
Bryan was the perfect chair for the refit committee. He was both a familiar face at the mission, and he brought a freshness to the process that I really welcomed. I do know that after they called and asked him to be the chair, that we had a meeting on the boat. It wasn't a couple weeks later, and the whole process was off. He did a bunch of donor visits, and he had a fundraising effort at his house. And between that and the contributions from the Mission Development Department, it was a 6-month campaign that was totally successful.
Bryan is the latest in a long line of Colket supporters of the Maine Seacoast Mission. He was committed to the retrofit and the rebuild of the Sunbeam. He knows the Sunbeam's mission well, and he supports it, just as his mother and father have done before him. It was Bryan and his wife Jamie who hosted house parties at their home in Northeast Harbor, and who contacted other people and informed them of the importance of the Sunbeam and her role to the outer islands. Whether it was health care, education, or pastoral services. All of them were very important. Bryan was central to sending that message out and to contacting others so that we had the results that we did of raising $1.5 million, not only for the refurbishing of the Sunbeam, but also for finding a replacement vessel, a vessel that would serve the outer islands while the Sunbeam was in dry dock. That replacement vessel would be christened Moonbeam.
Having known Bryan as long as I've known him and his family's long-standing commitment to the Seacoast mission, it was really no surprise to find out that Bryan had raised his hand when a capital campaign leader was needed. Bryan, congratulations on winning the Sunbeam Award. Your efforts will have a lasting effect on the communities that the mission serves, and that's a fantastic legacy.